welcome you all to my channel today. And so for today I decided to make a simple video on how to draw your basic bodice pattern. And I'm so excited to show you guys. I'm so happy. It's an opportunity for me to show you guys how to draft a pattern. Now, if you have the intention of being a pattern drafter, or you really want to focus on how to draft pattern, then this video is actually for you, because this is like the foundation or the basics you need or you require to draft so many patterns. And you can stay tuned. All you have to do is relax, stay tuned, give me a thumb up, and make sure you learn something at the end of this video. So for today, what you need for this video, you need your brown paper and your pattern tools. So the first thing I have to do is to get my shoulder measurement. So this point, so for this brown paper, I folded it into 4. This is my front panel and that is my back panel. So this line is what I call the center line. This line is what I call the center line. So the first thing I have to do is to check my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches. So from my shoulder to my bust is 10 inches. From the bust to the under bust is 13 inches. You can watch my previous video on how to take your body measurement. That was why I explained the distance calculation from the bust to the waist and from the waist to the hip. So I hope that video is going to make it easy for you to understand the distance calculation between the various parts of the body. So from my bust to my waist is 8 inches. So when I'm done with that, I'm going to draw my horizontal lines. I'm going to connect the lines together. So I'm going to connect the lines together. So this is where I marked my shoulder measurement. This is my shoulder measurement. So the next thing I have to do is to take my basic measurements. Okay, so for the waist, this is my waist. This is my bust measurements, rather. This is the bust measurements. This is my under bust measurements, and this is my waist measurements. Okay, so for my bust measurements I have 36. So 36 divided by 4, I have 9 inches. So this is my 9 inches. I'm just going to mark my 9 inches. So for the if you want to place this pattern on a fabric, then you're going to add your sewing allowance to it. If you want to use this pattern to place on your fabric, you're going to add your sewing allowance. But because this is a simple pattern, so it might not require me to add my sewing allowance to it. So for my waist I have 38. So 38 divided by 4, I have 9.5 inches. So for my waist, I'm going to add extra 1 inch for my dart allowance. So that is a total of 10.5 inches. I hope you can see it. That's a total of 10.5 inches. So for my under bust is 30. When I divide my under bust by 4, I'm going to have 7.5 inches. So this is 7.5 inches. So what I have to do is to use my ruler and join the lines together. Now, because our body is not actually sharp, so I'm going to use my curve to straighten up, to give it a curve shape. I'm going to use my curve, and I also do the same at this point. So when I'm done with it, I'm going to get my neckline. So for the neckline, it depends on the wideness and the deepness you want to use. So I'm going to make use of 4 inches. For the front panel, I'll make use of 4 inches too. And for the back panel, I'll make use of 1 inch. So let me just indicate where I have 1 inch for the back panel. So I'm going to use it. It depends on the neckline. It could be 4 corner, it could be round neckline. But I think I prefer a round neckline. So that is my neckline. So for me to get my armhole is simply my bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. My bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. So I'm going to have 7.5 inches. Don't forget my bust was 36. So divided by 6 plus 1.5, I'm going to have 7.5 inches. So I'm going to indicate where I have my 7.5 inches. So this line, let me connect the lines together. Let me draw the horizontal line. So this line, will be my upper bust. This is my upper bust. This is my upper bust. This is my bust, my under bust, and my waist measurement. So this is my armhole. So let me use my curve. Okay, let me draw a straight line first so you could understand it better. So this is a straight line. This is where I have my 7.5 inches. So because we want to get the curve, so for the front panel, because of easy movement of the armhole, I'm going to take in this my armhole line by 1 inch. I'm going to take, this is the middle. You are going to measure the middle. Okay, so this is the middle. That was why I took in 1 inch at this point. So I'm going to use my curve. I'm going to use my curve to connect the lines together. I hope you can see it. To connect my lines together. So I'm going to have this. Now because our shoulder is not actually straight, so don't forget to always take in your 1 inch for your shoulder slant. Don't forget to always take in your 1 inch for your shoulder slant. If you haven't subscribed on my channel yet, please kindly do so. So I'll extend this line. Now let me explain again. The first thing you have to do is to take your shoulder measurements. From your shoulder measurements, you mark your bust measurements. From the shoulder to the bust was 10 inch. From the bust to the under bust is 13. And from the bust to the waist is an extra 8 inches. And I told you guys to watch my previous video. That was why I explained the distance calculation. So after when you've taken your basic measurements, if you are going to use this pattern to draft, if you are going to place this pattern on a fabric, then when marking, you have to add your sewing allowance to it. After that, you get your neckline and your armhole. So for the armhole of the front panel, you are going to take it in by 1 inch or half an inch. It depends on how you want the movement of the shoulder to be. So I think 1 inch is okay. So if then that is all, then you don't forget to take away your shoulder slants. Now for us to get our darts, so we are done with that. The next thing is our darts. You are going to make use of the breast point or the bust pan. It means the distance between one nipple to the other. So I have 8 inches divided by 2. I have 4 inches. So you are going to take it at this point. Don't forget that at our waist measurement we added 1 inch. If you could remember, at our waist measurement we added extra 1 inch. So this 1 inch we added was for the dart allowance. So let me extend my pattern, the lines down, so it's going to be easy for you to get it. Let me extend it down. If we're to have our hip, assuming this is a very full pattern, so let's say here is the hip measurement. I hope you understand this video. So this is the hip measurement. So at the waist point, I'm going to take my breast point. That is 4 inches. This is 4 inches. So I'll mark it 4 inches. So I'll draw a straight line. So I'll draw a straight line. So for the front panel, this is my breast point. For the front panel, you have to come down with 1 inch. For the front panel, you have to come down with 1 inch. But for the back panel, you have to take your dart exactly from the breast point. So this is my front panel, so I'm coming down with 1 inch. Now at the waist measurement, I added extra 1 inch at this point, so I'm going to move it. I'm going to mark 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch on both sides to give me the total of this 1 inch. I hope you understand this. So I'll connect my lines together. I'll connect the lines together. So for the front panel, this is our waist measurement, this is our hip measurement. Let me extend the line so you could get it. This is our waist hip measurement. You have to come up with 2 inches. You have to move up with 2 inches. So you just connect the lines together. It's as simple as ABC. You connect the lines together. So this is how I got my darts. So for you to get your darts, you just mark your breast point at your waistline because you added extra 1 inch. You mark 1/2 inch at both sides. Then from the bust line, you come down with 1 inch. You come down with 1 inch. Then from the hip, you move up with 2 inches. You move up with 2, and don't forget this is our center line. Now for the back panel, the difference between this front panel and the back panel is, for the back panel, you're not going to move your armhole inside, okay? And for the back panel, your dart is going to start exactly at the bust line. I hope this video has been very helpful, and I hope at the end of this video you could actually construct a simple bodice pattern. So let me cut it out so you could see it better. Now what I have to do now, because I'm cutting both the front and the back panel together, let me draw the armhole for the back panel. Okay, let me draw the armhole. Don't forget that for the back panel, we are going to make use of the exact armhole. We are not moving in by 1/2 inch for the back panel. We are not moving in at the back panel, so don't forget your shoulder slants remain the same. So for the back neckline, I said I wanted it to be 1 inch. For the back neckline, I said I wanted it to be 1 inch. So let me draw my curve. I want a 4 corner at the back. I want a 4 corner or a square neckline at the back. So this is how my back panel is going to look like. This is how the back is going to look like. This is the back panel, and this is the front. So let me cut out the neckline for the front, and the armhole for the front too. So this is my front and this is my back. So when I want to take in the dart for the back panel, I'm going to move this 1 inch I came down at the front panel. The dart for the back panel is going to start exactly at this line, and I'm not going to move up here at the 2 inches. So that is the only difference. Apart from the armhole, the only difference between the back panel and the front panel is actually the dart. So thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, drop your comments, tell us topics you love us to treat. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are. Have a nice day.